Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. This is your boy, the coach from the WWE. I would like to welcome you to the very first wrestling podcast in the world to take you on a weekly deep dive into classic matches along with legends of the squared circle. Enjoy the discussion. Enjoy the back and forth. There's so much to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Payoff.
Welcome to an all-new episode of The Payoff. I'm Tom. That's Jeff. It's Last Man Standing.
Or Last Man Standing. And a busy night for Triple H. Yeah. Yeah, this one, it should be exciting. I'm hoping. Like I said, it was a busy night for Triple H. This kind of had to get thrown together a little bit here. And so, but overall, it's with all there was a while there with so many rumors about who knows where Orton is. Was still, so go back and kind of watch some Randy Orton. That's just exciting too, of course.
Yeah, so there's an injury here. There's a lot of drama that gets us to this match. You're going to cover all that, but I'm pumped to cover this one. Should be good. And being that it's in Chicago, Allstate Arena, I'm sure that we're going to go balls to the wall and do everything they can to keep this crowd. So I'm looking forward to cover this one. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
All right, let's jump right into the build.
It's time for the build.
So like I said, October 7th, 2007, we're at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Got an interesting card here. So we start off with Triple H defeating Randy Orton to win the WWE Championship in 11 minutes.
Okay, that's a match. Triple H match numero uno.
Now we then go Kennedy, Lance Cade, and Trevor Murdoch defeating Jeff Hardy, Brian Kendrick, and Paul London in a 6-man tag. Your ECW champion CM Punk is going to defeat Big Daddy V by DQ in 1 minute and 37 seconds.
Hot match right there. Yeah.
Your WWE champion Triple H is going to defeat Umaga in 6 minutes to retain his WWE championship.
Triple H numero 2. Yep.
Finlay and Rey Mysterio go to a no contest in 9 minutes. Beth Phoenix defeats Candice Michelle to win the WWE Women's Championship in 4 minutes. Batista is going to retain his World Heavyweight Championship in a Punjabi prison match in 14 minutes by defeating the Great Khali. Has the Great Khali ever won a Punjabi prison match? He may have. He may have beat Undertaker once in that match, or Triple H. I don't know.
I'm gonna look up the history of that while we're sitting here. Yeah,
please do. And then in your main event, we have a last man standing match of Randy Orton and Triple H. So what in the hell is going on here?
Yeah, this is just a really unusual here. So the scheduled main event was supposed to be John Cena defending his title against Randy Orton in a last man standing match. And you ask yourself, okay, why are Randy Orton and Triple H having a match? So this was, of course, the torn pec that John Cena suffered in the match, and the match was canceled and the title was vacated. So,
and then is this the pec that he came back at Royal Rumble with?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
And so in the short timeline. So, because of that, then Triple H got put on triple duty. And so having all of his match. And so at this point, defeating the newly crowned Randy Orton and then defeating Umaga to retain that belt. And then, of course, this match that we're about to get. And so again, it was supposed to be John Cena and Orton, which would have made sense. The card's still really weird, even if that was the one match you swapped, but still. So, So is SummerSlam Cena defending the title and defended the championship against Orton, and then the following night on Raw, Orton interfered in Cena's match with King Booker, which Cena then won by DQ. You had Orton attacking Cena's dad, which was part of the storyline, his actual dad. And so then you had the match at Unforgiven. Cena was DQ'd. And then since the title can only, Orton won, title can only change hand on a pinfall or submission. And so the title did not change hands on that one. And then you had, this is the revenge with Cena's dad kicking Orton in the head the same way that Orton had kicked Cena's dad in the head, whatever. So it was actually later that night, though. It was after the event went off the air. You had Jonathan Coachman making a rematch between the two at No Mercy, this show, for a last man standing. But then you, of course, had the injury. It was at the time being blamed on Orton's post-match attack. And that he was, going to have to vacate the title. But of course, the pec, it was the reality of it. So here's the line. Although Cena's match against Orton was canceled, World Wrestling Entertainment Chairman Vince McMahon stated there would be a, quote, new WWE champion crowned at No Mercy. While Triple H had his ribs iced during the show, Vince McMahon stated that Randy Orton was invoking his rematch clause. McMahon scheduled a rematch for the same night and also decided that it would be a last man standing match. And so, which leads me to wonder, was like the Punjabi prison gonna be like, was that almost the main event here? like that's terrifying to think about. Like, if Cena can't go and they weren't sure what they were doing. I'm glad that Triple H has the ability to kind of slot in there. I do wonder, there was nobody, could you not call anybody else? Like, was there not, I don't know what was going on at the time, but let's maybe find somebody else that could have gone with this one instead of, and I'll get into how it could have been booked a little different after, but just a really like this. So this is the main event match of this show, not the first match that they had. That is a last man standing match that was literally thrown together. You figured the day before, I'm sure that was a hell of a creative meeting for the guys and girls in the back.
Yeah, weird. Just really, I know the excuse will be, injuries happen and there's only so much we can do, but really got ourselves into a hell of a pickle here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Are you ready?
Ready as I can be. Hopefully this is a little better than last week. I think it will be. The match itself should be pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. So No Mercy 2007. We're at the 2 hour and 29 minute mark. Jeff, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Do you hear voices in your head?
I do a little bit, yeah.
Do they talk to you?
When I go to sleep, yep.
All right. It's time for the payoff.
Oh, it's time for the payoff.
Historic night in the historic career of the cerebral assassin. But the question is, how will this night end? How will history be written here tonight at No Mercy? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this match has no pinfalls, no submissions. It cannot end by a disqualification, and there are no countouts. And of course, Randy.
All right, here we go. So Triple H on match number 3. He's your champion. He's going against Randy Orton. Obviously, there's a tremendous amount of history between these two. Triple H is angry and ready to fight. We've had 3 Punjabi prison matches in WWE history.
Yep.
I actually thought there might have been more. There's only 3. So we had the Undertaker and Big Show were the first one. It was
Khali wasn't even in the first one.
Great Khali was originally supposed to be involved, but was forced out of the match after elevated levels of enzymes were found in his liver.
Okay.
So you had Big Show, Undertaker, Great American Bash 2006. Undertaker wins the initial Punjabi prison match. The second one is Batista and Great Khali on this show a year later. 2007. Batista was able to outclimb Khali, who looked like he was going to get out first. Batista retains his world heavyweight title. Then 10 years later, Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton would have a Punjabi prison match at Battleground 2017.
And that's when Khali showed up. I remember that. Yeah.
The trivia was that, Khali shows up for that.
It's just I remember that one because I also remember that being a terrible pay-per-view to like you couldn't see anything. It was terrible. I remember that. So yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So we're on the outside with these guys right out of the gate.
Oh, this is not good.
Yeah. Now, of course, Randy Orton was also the final match of Triple H's career.
Mm-hmm.
Which would have been a Saudi show. Super Showdown 2019.
In the 19 show, yep.
Also on that show was Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin, Finn Balor and Andrade, Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns, Lars Sullivan defeating the Lucha House Party in a 3-on-1 handicap match.
Oh yeah, that was the weird guy that came out speaking against gays, and then they found out he was in gay porn or whatever it was. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'm almost positive that's who that was. Yeah, he posts all kinds of homophobic stuff on Twitter.
I knew that part of it. I didn't know the other part.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure they found out that he had filmed a couple adult movies with some other men. Yep.
That's called projecting.
That is exactly what that's called. Oh, boy.
Interesting. Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman were on that show. Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler were on that show.
Oh, man.
Triple H and Randy Orton, of course. A 50-man battle royal was on that show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And we still haven't even gotten to the main event yet. What was the main event of that show, Jeff?
It was these guys.
No.
That was the I can't remember.
If you get this right, I'd be very, very impressed.
I don't remember.
Undertaker and Goldberg.
Oh God, yeah, that terrible showing. Yes. Ugh,
what a show that was.
The boy, that was something. So I got it pulled up here. We got top 10 Orton best pay-per-view matches. I'll start at number 5, actually. We'll kind of work down from this one. You've got the versus Christian at SummerSlam 2011. When they had a long feud, if you remember that. And so that was a pretty good one. They had a couple matches that were over the limit. They had a match too as well on that one. And so this was Christian losing the belt after 2 days on that one.
And that was after Edge had won, or I'm sorry, Edge had retired, right? That was part of that storyline. Okay. And I remember that being a really good feud. I mean, it was very interesting.
And then, of course, you've got the Backlash 2007 Orton, Cena, Edge, and Shawn Michaels match, which we've talked about on this show before. One we have not talked about at number 2, but we probably, or I don't think we have. We should. New Year's Revolution 2005. That was Orton, Triple H, Chris Benoit, Edge, Chris Jericho, and Batista. And it was the Elimination Chamber match on that one. And so, and of course, that was as well. The seventh man involved, and that was Shawn Michaels, who was appointed as a special guest referee. And so, yeah. So that was, and then number 1, as we have covered as well, too, which I would put this probably number 1, the Backlash 2004 against Cactus Jack, just a brutal hardcore match, which, yeah, hard to not like that one, too. So, yeah.
That was a great match.
Yep, absolutely. So, these guys still going at it. Like, we're back in the ring at this point. Triple H kind of selling the being hurt, or at least having had 2 matches already in this evening.
That one was
an
8 count for the reigning.
And just kind of going at it back and forth. And again, remember, this is last man standing, and so they really need to beat the crap out of each other on this one.
Yes, they do. I guess we'll never see Triple H in the ring again. I'd say that's pretty much a certainty. I know you never say never in the wrestling business, but that's a hard one to imagine, huh?
Yep. Yeah, especially because of the health stuff. It's hard to say. I know the rumors are swirling recently. We knew, or not that long ago, with apparently Bray is actually really sicker than we thought, and so we're not sure what's going on there. Like just all kinds of weird stuff. But I got an interesting question for you here. This was on Reddit actually. One of the posts had it, and so what's a common spot in a match or wrestling angle you wish would stopped being used?
A wrestling angle that I'd like to stop being used,
or a common wrestling like spot or move. Yeah. And so
I'll give you the first one that comes to the top of my head.
Sure.
Everyone stands outside waiting for the guy to jump off the top rope.
Literally, first comment: a crossbody always having to be the big aerial spot.
Yeah, and even when and I love Charlotte Flair, but they do that with her too much, where 2 or 3 people are standing there. She does the moonsault. She doesn't hit any of them. They all fall down. It's like, one of these times, I mean, what if she tore an ACL doing this move? No one reacts to it anymore because she does it every match. So right. I save that for like the celebrity spot, right? Like, I mean, you can do it, but like doing it in a traditional match, I hate it. I mean, it's just so fake.
Yep. The other big comment here is as they call it, the hockey fight spot, where both guys just punch each other back and forth. But for most of the times, it looks like they're just flailing their arms. So they're alternating punches for the boos and kicks and stuff like that, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was interesting. Signature moves never getting a wrestler the win. Jeff Hardy never wins after a whisper the win, and yet he's always surprised that it doesn't do the job.
That's a great one too. Is everyone that has a move that never finishes, yet they always try to pin someone, and they always act surprised when it doesn't work. That's a great one.
Well, and it makes it. And I feel like there's a lot of finishers that aren't finishers. Like, who was it? There's a lot that like even like the RKO is protect. Like, there's so many protected finishers that like you just a guy is never kicking out, like plain and simple. And so here we go. Orton ripping off the that was the ECW table, I believe. Yep, because yes, I see Taz there. Yeah.
Look out, Rob. Come on.
Now he's ripping the WWE table.
Orton with a monitor right to the man's face.
I'd say I'd say another little thing is I think guys, I think everyone should have a well-defined finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that finisher should make sense. Okay, so what are we gonna get here?
Oh, he tried to RKO him and nope.
Yeah, so Orton goes for the RKO and Triple H just threw him off of that through the table. That was really good. I don't love when guys don't have a finisher or it's not clearly defined, or they win different matches with different moves. I'll also put in there, I don't like when guys have a finisher that's not special, like meaning it's just a little too basic. I don't know. I think you need something a little more impactful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even like Cody Rhodes Crossroads, it's like it's really not that impactful of a move. Like I don't
Superman punch.
The Cody cutter should be the finishing move, and kind of the Cody cutter out of nowhere. I mean, I know it's like RKO, but I don't know. I mean, it is what it is now. You're not going to change it. But like, I just think people should have it defined. I'll tell you another thing I don't love. I don't love finishing moves that can't be hit very quickly. I hate Finn Balor's finishing move. Just not dramatic.
He's got to climb.
Yeah, you can't. It's never going to be dramatic. I mean, unless like maybe there's an exception to it, but most of the time I'm just like, it between the pinfall and the actual move, it's like it takes 10 seconds, which is a really, really long time. So not a fan of that. What else was on the list, or what else do you have?
What is some of the other ones here? A lot of people don't like the setup for the high rise stuff, and so that's one.
Oh, okay. And then moving and then rolling around, right? Like doing the thing where you like roll twice so that you can be positioned for it. I like with like RVD. I like where he just hits the frog splash, even if he has to turn in the middle of the air. Like those are how those finishing moves should be. It's like Finn Balor doesn't need someone. Someone could be on their stomach or their back and he can still hit the move. They could be crooked and he could turn in the air. It's the same with like a frog splash. Like you don't need to be in quote unquote position. The only thing you probably need to be in position for is like a 450 or a what's the one that Brock Lesnar used to? Shooting star press. Something like that. Yeah, you need to be in position, but that's really it.
Yeah, here's the 5 people standing there for what feels like an eternity before someone jumps off of something. How has that spot not been better refined by now? Security pull-apart brawls. If you are not Brock Lesnar size big, it looks stupid as hell. We are seeing Spike Dudley-sized men and women that are even smaller that are half the size of the guards managing to physically break free from multiple people. Focus on your damn match. Wrestlers in the middle of a match being distracted by entrance music or someone climbing up on the apron to distract. That makes sense. Outside dives, I would say between the ropes has become very common. Like when they're doing the dives, not over the top rope, but like through the first and second rope. Yeah, the suicide dives. Like you got to catch they're a big DDT from Orton onto a chair. Like you got to catch those right. Who was it the one time that if they catch their feet or they're not and it looks terrible. Wasn't there a GIF? I forget who did it or not, but like someone caught their dick on the rope too, and it like messed them up or something. Like just absolutely ridiculous nonsense. Yeah.
Hold on, I had another one that was trying to think of what else I had. I'll remember it. Struggling to climb up a ladder early in a match.
Oh boy, or the cage or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely dumb as can be. Let's see here. Feigning an injury. It's been incredibly overused. Yep.
I know I complain about this a lot. I still think that there's stuff in AEW that's too gymnastic-y. It's just like, all right, come on, this isn't two guys trying to, compete against each other.
Oh, this one, I do catch this a lot, and I agree with this. Wrestler A rolls Wrestler B over, then B offers up their legs in the air for the pin. So, like, they throw their legs up so that someone can hook them, and they don't let the wrestler grab their leg and pull it up instead. Like, yeah, I noticed that a lot. Yep, absolutely. Let's see here. Yeah, just a lot of different diving through the ropes. Another one. Yeah, just kind of all these different stuff. Suicide dives, super kicks. Yeah, if you're watching a lot of AEW, you're seeing a super kick all night long.
Too many super kicks.
Tower of Doom spots in multi-person matches, though I've noticed it more in women's matches. And so, yeah, that's where they do 5-6 people, or the giant superplex moves. Yep. Yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff. Interesting takes here. Yeah, you wonder. What was it recently? I saw there was the AEW. Every once in a while, we see those list of banned moves or banned words or whatever it was, and so, or like certain like tombstones. I think it was AEW. Like tombstones have to get approval or something. Like I'm just, I just envisioning like like Jericho sitting at a computer, like typing up an email, like can I get approval to do a tombstone pile driver tonight? Like, come on. Like just ridiculous. I get it's all about being safe and stuff like that, but Triple H with the chop there is a great look. Yeah.
Come fight me, because somebody's gonna get hurt tonight. The game again, collapsing. His body has got to be.
All right, so Triple H is pretty beaten down. Huge blade job. Yoda counting him.
It's all on the line. It's all on the line here.
Triple H bleeding as well, too. We got a good blade job here.
Look at Orton.
Going for the punt.
Oh, my God. No. Wait. It's blocked. Okay, blocked the kick. That vile kick that Randy Orton was going to put Triple H's lights out with has been blocked. Orton has put out so many legends, including Shawn Michaels and Dusty Rhodes. The kick was blocked. The kick was blocked. The game is up. The match continues. The title's on the line. Look at the look on the face.
Great moment. Good spot.
Clothesline from downtown.
I don't watch it and don't really follow it, but it seems like Shawn Michaels is doing a pretty good job down in NXT, considering, they kind of started from scratch and there aren't many, big names down there. And it's not like they're signing all these big indie names like they, were with Samoa Joe and Drew McIntyre. So, it seems like they're doing an okay job, right?
Yeah, I think coming out of it, we just had no mercy. I think one benefit to them is, and I got to believe it's Triple H or Shawn Michaels have said this, like bringing in like Corbin or bringing in a main roster person to get them like, when you play against the best, you're going to become better. And I think bringing in these like superstars that are on the main roster to let them wrestle with some of these other people, it gives a little bit of kind of notoriety to who they are, but then also like it gives that wrestler, you figure it's got to be a way easier work schedule on them too. Like they're not getting beat up, and maybe it's like, hey, I feel a little dinged up. Like, can I go get 3 months in NXT? Like, can I go get, let me put somebody over? Like, even if you go they can go the Hall of Famer route and pair like, Sting with Darby or something. But at the same time, like with how they're doing it lately, and I know we even shit on too, like they're all getting trained the same way, but I think they are doing a better job of like, like LA Knight, like, coming out, like, some of these guys, Grayson Waller, like some of these people that are coming out are looking like, okay, the system is working, and you have
I think Waller's going to be a star.
I think like, I agree. Do I want them like, it's just a slow burn on so much of this. Like, yes. Do I want LA Knight? Like he won when he should have won. Like, do I need him to go? Like, that's the other thing. Like, we complain about it too, but like, what do you want? You want him to just win the Universal title tomorrow? Like, that's not going to happen. Like, if you got him consistently on TV, he's having good matches, he stays over with the crowd, and maybe, okay, like you give him a short title reign with something, but also like, the belts, I feel like, are becoming more inconsequential. Like Roman has made them inconsequential. Like Seth's title is a secondary title. I absolutely believe that. And so, but then you have Gunther like giving some notoriety. Like he's going to beat Honky Tonk's record. There's no, if he hasn't already, I forget. And so, like, but they want him to be that champ. And so, yeah, absolutely. And so, some of this stuff. But yeah, I think that. Yeah, you have to credit Triple H. You have to credit Shawn. I think Matt Bloom, like all the trainers down there, like who I just saw AEW brought in like Scotty 2 Hotty for training or some or producer role or something like that. So I think that like some of these guys that really had a nose for the business, like, yeah, like, and I think Shawn Michaels, who knows where they'd be without him.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think he's doing a hell of a job. Oh, okay. Yikes. RKO on the table. Table didn't break. They're both out.
Break. Yeah, that hurt like hell.
Yeah, I it seems like he's doing a really good job. And look, not everything's going to work down there, but it shouldn't all work because not everyone is going to be a star. Also, not every gimmick's going to work, but you have to try. I mean, good for them to be trying new stuff. Cause I mean, and I know it's worked out with Rollins and Reigns, but those are two guys that, hey, they've got greasy black hair and weird names and we're going to call them up. I mean, there was no thought put into character development and anything special with them.
Yep.
Oh,
it is interesting going. Oh, here we go. It didn't get up. Did I see the bell count there? Yeah. Crowd's not doing shit.
This is unbelievable. This is historic. Randy Randy Orton started the night off.
So that's his old music.
WWE title. But by God, he has went through hell.
I remember it now that I'm hearing it.
To regain the championship.
Not nearly as good.
But what can you say about the game? It's just competed in his third title match in one night.
Oh,
in
one
night.
We need some EMTs down here for Triple H.
The heart and soul of a warrior.
Oh,
So early on.
That hurt.
all right.
He had his hand up, but that hurt. Yeah.
So we're telling the story that, hey, Triple H just couldn't make it a third match. Okay, got it. All right, let's get into the aftermath.
Ho! It's time for the aftermath.
What'd you think?
Stiff, not necessarily stiff, but it was hard hitting. Like they were doing a good job of selling some of these moves. Like there was just a lot happening with that. Like Triple H, it still looks strong. Orton getting the belt back. Like it just like I think overall it was good, not great. But I do think it was still like it was a good match. Like it's not one to ignore. So yeah, but
It was solid. I think those
yeah.
two. I've always thought maybe I'm off, but I've always felt they were very similar, and it didn't make for a great style. They've both got kind of that methodical. They're not going to do anything insanely impressive athletically. I don't know. I've always felt that like now if you put Orton with someone that like a Mick Foley that's going to do some crazy stuff. I mean, both those guys had great matches with Mick Foley, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So I think if you put them with the right person, they're fine. But I think they're too similar to have a really good match.
Yeah. So here's the notes on this. This is from the Observer, what they wrote at the time. When Cena got hurt, all plans had to be thrown out. Vince McMahon came out on ECW and announced that there would be a WWE title match on Sunday, but didn't say who was going to be in it. They scheduled a creative meeting on Thursday to figure it out. Once they got their idea, they made no mention of anything. The hook to buy the pay-per-view was you didn't know what they were going to do, but knew that there would be a new champion. With all of that said, there are alternatives that they could have done. If the idea was that they had to have the scheduled last man standing match, and they had to have the Hunter versus Umaga match, and they had to have Orton leave with the belt, then the easiest and to me the best scenario would have been to book Hunter versus Umaga in the opener, with the winner facing Orton for the vacant title in the last man standing main event, which you can't argue that. So, because I think that it just makes a ton more sense. Like it was overbooked, which at this time, that was happening. So, I mean, you got to deal with that, but yeah. So it says Orton, the next night on Raw during an appreciation ceremony held by Vince McMahon for Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels returned from a hiatus and super kicked Orton in the face to end the show. It's Cyber Sunday. Michaels challenged Orton for the championship. And Michaels won the match via DQ because of a low blow. So Orton retained the title. At Survivor Series in November, Orton defeated Michaels in a match to retain the championship. Triple H title reign. His title reign at No Mercy is the fifth shortest reign in WWE history, only lasting the duration of the event. After winning the Raw Elimination Chamber match on February at No Way Out, Triple H gained a championship match by winning that one, eliminating Jeff Hardy with a pedigree on a steel chair. At WrestleMania 24, Orton retained the title in a triple threat match after punting Triple H and pinning John Cena following Triple H's pedigree on Cena. So just, more story, just kind of doing that. So, Triple H not ranked in 2007, Orton was 15. The Observer on this one, he tried to pedigree him on the table, but Orton fell off. Orton tried to hit him with the steps, but Hunter gave him a low blow, and Orton, in dropping the steps, smashed his own head into them legit. That had to suck. Hunter gave him a hard chair shot, but Orton was up at 9.99. Hunter finally went for the pedigree on the table, but Orton RKO'd him. Hunter rolled off the table and crawled toward the ring, trying to lift himself up on the apron, but he didn't make it. Yet another new champion. Hunter, covered in blood, ended up refusing the medical attention afterwards. Excellent main event, 4 stars. So, Tom, what are you giving this one?
I had this at a 6.
Okay.
I mean, it was fine. It just didn't really do much for me. I don't know if babyface Triple H really. He's a heel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Some guys, they just they have to live that life. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. To me, it's like those were just two heels in the ring that both have the same style. It really did nothing for me. What about you?
Yeah, you gave it a 6. I mean, I'm probably at 6.5-ish. Yeah, like the match itself was good, which is the only reason I'm going to do that. Otherwise it just kind of, like I said, it good, not great. Like, it was. I wonder if we had watched both matches back to back, like maybe we would change our opinion a little bit, like just to see how they work. But also, just watching this in a vacuum, you have to remember that Triple H just had 2 matches, and so, and the varying was 6 minutes and 11 minutes. So he had wrestled, 18 minutes at this point. But still, it's a lot, like you had on all the other stuff. And so, yeah, it's just interesting, but good, but not great. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. That was a good one.
Exciting. Yeah. We've got some.
What do we have coming up?
We've got some interesting one. We got some more Randy Orton coming up. We're going to Taboo Tuesday 2004. We've got a story that I have no clue about anything. We're doing some TNA. This was Hulk Hogan and Sting for control of TNA in 2011. And so I have no clue what to expect on that one, but that's what we're doing. And so we've got that. I got some, what was it? Someone posted on Twitter recently. There was a CM Punk and Eddie Guerrero match in like a gym. And so they did like a 10, 12-minute match. Yeah. And so I might throw that in there. We got some more TNA. I see some ECW coming up. Most importantly, next week, with, talking NXT, we're going to do the Bailey Sasha 30-minute Iron Woman match next week. So good stuff. But man, at that point, we're getting into December, New Year. We'll talk a little New Japan. Like there's just all kinds of stuff going on.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah, other than that, I'd say let's send them home happy.
Well, we got good ones to cover. I'm looking forward to that. Appreciate everyone listening. I mentioned this I think 2 weeks ago, but Jeff, remind me again. What's the device called? The new Manscaped device?
The Handyman.
The Handyman. It's like a little shaver and you use it on your face, and you've seen those before. This one's really good. It doesn't irritate your face at all. It gets a close shave. If you just need to touch up or trim down, it's a fantastic tool. So check that out. Use our code PAYOFF. Payoff, right? Yep, payoff.
Of course, payoff 20% off for free shipping. You got it.
20% off free shipping. So it's a great device. I wouldn't say it unless I was using it, enjoying it myself. So good stuff. This was fun. As always, we appreciate you listening. Episode 216, Jeff.
Woo,
is in the books.
Cruising. Yep.
Yeah. We'll be before you know it, we'll be at the big 250. So
oh my gosh.
Good. Yep. Yeah, I know. Good stuff. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week on an all-new episode of The Payoff.